This is the Mindless Hawk, Dylan Budka, and I'm with my boys right here, and y'all watching the blown coverage. And I'm gonna be back right after my first UFC win to get on here again.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Blown Coverage. This is your boy Joey. I'm here with Corey, and today we got a special guest with us, guys. You might have seen him on the Dana White's Contender Series just a few weeks ago. He got the dub. Newly contracted UFC fighter Dylan, the Mindless Hulk Budka. How you doing, my man? How's everything going for you today?
Pretty good, bro. How about you, man? I feel good.
Hell yeah, man. We're very, very excited to have you on. I've been looking a little bit into your story, man, and it's very intriguing, I got to say. So I just wanted to get really into it. I was very curious to know, about your story. It's very inspiring what we've read. First off, the main thing I saw was you put out a tweet recently, and it said 2019 kicked out of college, 2020 homeless. 2021 moved into the back of the gym, 2022 became a pro fighter, and 2023 made it into the UFC. Take us through how you made it to the success and really never losing sight of the goal despite what the obstacles you had to overcome.
I guess the main thing that all them things did for me is kept the fuel underneath of me and made me motivated to keep pushing through all that type of stuff. It's part of my brand. It's a part of me. Just the mindless, the nickname. It's a way that I've grown as an individual. Every obstacle that was given to me, it made me who I am today. From being in Baltimore to getting kicked out of school to living in the back of the gym to going through all the fights I did. It prepared me for all the moments that are about to happen and just happened a couple weeks ago on Dana White Contender Series, and it's going to prep me to be a world champion one day.
Yeah, I had a quick question for you, man. So how was the transition for you? Because I know that you wrestled, like when you were in high school and whatnot. How was the transition to, striking for you? Was it pretty difficult, or do you think you picked it up pretty quick?
When I was doing all my amateur fights, I was actually doing amateur boxing too. So I had 12 boxing bouts. So my coach put me in situations to where I would be uncomfortable and be forced to use my hands. So when the time comes and somebody can stuff my shot, I can let the hands go on them and let them feel the power behind them too. It was definitely a little tricky learning how to be a boxer and strictly just a boxer at first. And then I'm really coachable and I learned how to do things pretty quick. I think that's one of my best traits, just being able to soak it all in. And I have hands, I just haven't been forced to use them yet. So
yeah,
I'm excited to use them now.
As far as when you're coming up and everything, obviously a bunch of dudes are trying to come up the same way. They're trying to make it to the UFC. That's the end goal for them, So with that being said, how much stress is on your head and on your mind, having to deal with injuries, having to deal with just the mental stress of trying to make it, to the UFC. How do you deal with that type of stuff?
I guess throughout the little bit of time I trained, I just kept remembering that I'm preparing for the guys at the top level. I'm not preparing for the amateur fighters. I'm not preparing for the local scene. I'm preparing for the Adesanyas and the Stricklands and all the top guys. I thought about that my whole career. And while I was training, I wasn't preparing for the guys I was going against amateur. No disrespect to them, but I'm preparing for the top 15, the top 10, the top 5 in the world. And that's what kept me motivated and made me continue to be hungry throughout my whole career.
Absolutely, man. Obviously, now that you're in the UFC, how do you evolve? How do you plan to evolve and grow as a fighter?
Well, throughout my whole career, I felt like I was training angry and training like in a different type of way that I had to improve from. And ever since I got the contract, I felt like I had a whole bunch of peace come over top of me and made me train a different type of way to where I'm able to train and be happy and learn more than what I already knew. And I kind of leveled up after I signed the contract and adapted to the new environment I'm in. And I feel like a vet now instead of just a guy that's been fighting for 3 years. I feel like I deserve to be in the spot I'm in. And it's allowed me to adapt in the room to different situations. And I know I'm at the top promotion in the world now, so I got to prepare like I am.
going to kind of caveating after that, a lot of fighters, in the UFC, though, like I believe like Volkanovski, a lot of different guys, they go to Thailand, they go abroad to go train. Is that something that you're looking to do in your career in the UFC? Is like, be able to go to Thailand, train some kickboxing there, stuff like that?
Oh yeah, that would definitely 100% be cool. I'd love to do that. Training in, what's the Tiger gym called? The one that Hamza and all them go to all the time. I forget the name of it. But I would definitely love to go to all the Thailand gyms and stuff like that and be forced to kickbox and travel around. But right now, my team's doing a great job with me. And I'm really big on taking the people to the top that I started with. And they've helped me get this far. So why mess any of that up? And until I really need to and absolutely need to, I'm just going to stick here in my home gym right now.
Absolutely, man. I mean, yeah, you're talking about, going to Thailand. I've seen a few guys go over there. Hamzat Chimaev, like you mentioned. I think Cody Garbrandt's been over there a few years on, right? So, now that obviously when you came into the Contender Series, you came in to fight at 186, correct?
Yes.
So when you came in, it was on a 1 week's notice that you were notified?
4 days.
4 days. Holy smokes.
I was in Baltimore at my sister's house because we just fought a heavyweight August 26th. Mm-hmm. And we thought maybe we could get the call. And then a couple days in, I called my coach. I was like, "Hey, coach, can I eat, man?" Because we were trying to keep the weight. We were trying to keep the weight low just in case we got the call. And he was like, "Go ahead, do your thing." And the day after we got the call, and I was up to 215, and we started cutting right there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, that was insane. I remember hearing them on the commentating describe that. But if you could, man, would you mind describing really, the feeling of fighting in front of Dana White? I mean, this isn't just anybody. This is, the head honcho of the biggest fight organization in the world. You got one shot to prove yourself. And not only did you go in there, man, but you put on a pretty solid performance on your own end. And you did it off of a 4-day notice. Can you describe what it's like fighting in front of Dana White and what the pressure was?
Oh, man, it was definitely crazy. We were just watching the highlight before I got on here, actually, because my buddy fights tomorrow. But when I walked into the cage, they faced us off and everything. But I remember thinking in my head, I was like, Dana White's behind me, Dana White's behind me, Dana White's behind me. And it was just a cool feeling to just know I'm finally here and I'm finally able to showcase it on the biggest platform possible. And I'm very blessed to be able to do it. I wish I could have had more time to prep for the moment, but we got in there, we got the job done, and I'm excited to have a full fight camp and show the world what I'm able to do with one.
Absolutely, man. I mean, even that in itself, your Contender Series, win that you got, it earned the respect of Dana White. He even praised you and said, you're a dog, kid, and he believes that you're a natural 170. Is 170 where you see your future? And if so, who's a name that you're looking to share the octagon with in your next bout?
We just booked our PI schedules and everything actually a couple days ago, and we're going on October 16th and 19th to see if we can even make 70. Sure. But I'm really down to fight anybody in the top 20 and 70 or 85. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to bang out all 4 fights this year if it was possible. I love it so much, man. And if they would have hit me up the next week after the Contender Series fight and said, let's do it, I would have did it. I don't care who it is. I don't care when, where. I'll make it happen. But whoever wants to go, I'll go against Strickland right now, chop that leg up and take him down.
Now that, you're looking at saying around like 170, 185, I'm not gonna lie, man. I follow you on Instagram. I see you be eating some good food all the time. I see your pastas and your burgers. So are you gonna be like changing up your diet now? You're gonna be more strict on it, you think, or you think that you still kind of maintain?
My last actual 3 to 4 pro fights, I actually got a nutritionist finally, and me and we were working together. That last fight was probably the worst my body's ever looked in a fight, and it had to do to the weight cut. We had to cut 6 the day of the weigh-ins for Dana White, and we woke up at 3 a.m. and my body just wasn't regular. I got in the cage at 211. I usually get in there at like 205, and it was definitely different. But I don't know if I can make 70, but since I'm in the hands of the UFC now, I might be able to. they might be able to help me, give me something else that I am able to take. But I think from Dana White's looking at what my body looked like in there this time, and he hasn't looked at my other fights yet. Like I usually got like an 8-pack going into the cage and stuff like that. I look like a chubby little dude going. But yeah, if they think I can make 70, I'll make it happen. But I really think they're gonna realize that I got a different type of body than what it looked like in that cage on Dana White at 85.
Sure.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. You got a contract in the UFC. What was the celebration like for you after that? What'd you eat, bro? What'd you go do?
Actually, man, like I was soaking in the moment so much, bro. I was just sitting there, and we were chilling with a couple more other fighters on there, and I was hanging out with some of my best friends, my coach, and I didn't even want to drink. I just wanted to feel the high from winning on UFC, and I was like, damn, I'm in the UFC, man. I still wake up some mornings and I'm like, damn, I am in the UFC, and it just feels good to be able to say that. And I just had a big steak that night, had some French fries, and had a couple sodas, and I tried to drink some of the Dana White whiskey, but I couldn't get it down. It was a little too strong for me.
It is pretty strong. Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I got more of my celebration in the week after soaked in that won, and we had a whole bunch of drinks in Ohio with my teammates and stuff. It was cool. It was definitely cool. But I definitely had my Domino's pizza that week too. I like the meats and the barbecue Memphis.
And I feel like you and I like all the same types of foods, bro. Really like all. I mean, even I try to stay away from soda, but like since I was a little kid, my parents always told me not to drink it. So when I would drink it, it was like very special. But even to this day, man, like I'll pop in like a black cherry soda here and there, or like cream soda, something like that's like rare, you know.
What's your go-to soda?
I mean, root beer is always a go-to, but it just depends on like the type of soda. You know? Like Dad's root beer.
My top is cherry Coke and Mountain Dew.
Yeah, cherry vanilla Coke is pretty good.
Yeah, that goes crazy too.
But yeah, I try to stay away from soda as much as I can, man. But when I'm not, I definitely go after like Dr. Brown's cream soda is like top tier.
Yeah.
But I had a question, man. I mean, when you're not training, when you're not fighting or anything like that in that realm, what's some hobbies that you like to do like outside of that?
Shit. Probably just try different types of foods for real. I just like eating food, hanging out with the boys and my teammates and talking about fights. It's literally all I do, man. I just love fighting and everything that has to do. It's consumed my whole life. And some of my most exciting times outside of fighting is just hanging out with my buddies and eating food.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
That translates, man. Honestly, like you can see, like that's why you're successful, because you like eat, sleep, and breathe it. You know. So
yeah, a bit of it.
Yeah, you deserve it. You deserve it for sure. Yeah, so.
I appreciate it.
We have a question that we like to ask every guest that comes on. If you had to pick a Mount Rushmore of the best, MMA fighters of all time, who are your top 4? And then you get one honorable mention. You get one.
Okay, all right. Definitely GSP. He's one of my all-time favorites. Khabib. 4. I get 4.
Yeah, 4, and then an honorable mention too.
Okay. John Jones has to be on there.
Yeah.
Even though he's in my weight class, Izzy. And then honorable mention, Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the tops.
Have you been watching like MMA like since you were a kid, or you just started getting into it?
I just got into it right when I started, honestly, the most. But so 3 years. But I study every fighter that's ever stepped into the ring, even like UFC 1 and stuff like that. I watch it all the time. Like I'm watching it right now behind the podcast.
Let me ask you, I mean, what would you say are some of your like top favorite fights of all time? Like anybody, could be any, it doesn't even have to be UFC, like it could be Strikeforce or like any other promotions you watch. But if you had to name like just top 5 like ultimate fights, you're like, damn, bro, every time you watch it, absolute banger, what would you say?
Oh, probably honestly the Hamza and Gilbert actually just popped up on here right now, but Hamzat and Gilbert Burns was a crazy fight for sure. Volk and Islam. Volk and Islam. Then Volk and when he got stuck in the guillotine and still got out of it. Ortega. And then Diaz and McGregor, the second.
Yeah. 5-round.
That's a crazy fight for sure. And then honestly, I like watching mine, and I fought Asmat Bukov for the LFA world title. That's one of my favorite fights to watch too. Even though it's me, I like watching that a lot because it was a war.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Dude, we watched a lot of your highlights. You've had some crazy slugfest, man. Like Dana White couldn't have written it any better, bro. You are a dog, man. We got the utmost respect for you. And
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We really appreciate you coming on, man. I know you have a very busy schedule, and like you said, man, you just eat, live, and breathe training. So I know that we're looking forward to your next fight. I know you're looking forward to it, man, and we can't wait for it.
Thank you, bro. Thank you so much. We're gonna come back on here after I get that win too.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, dog.
Boom! I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely, man. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, and we'll be in touch soon, man. We'll see you very, very soon. All right.
All right, sounds good. When I come up to Cali too, y'all gotta take me out and get some food too.
Absolutely, bro. I know all the spots. I was born and raised here in LA, so I know all the best taco trucks and everything.
Yes, sounds good, bro.
All right, man.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.
You too. All right, guys. This is Joey, Dylan, as well as Corey. We're the Blown Coverage, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.